Good morning and welcome back to Mad Horse Barbecue. My name is Brian, and in today's video, we're going to be smoking up a Duroc pork butt. We got about a 10-pounder right there. Got it rubbed down. We're going to be doing it on the Oklahoma Joe's Highland. As you can see, some of that smoke coming out of the smokestack in the background. This is set up for reverse flow, meaning that there's baffle plates in the cook chamber. The heat from the firebox goes under the baffle plates, comes back up around the meat, and then out the stack. That's why the stack is by the firebox. But we're going to try running this with all splits. If I cannot do that, I do have some B&B oak lump there. That's how I did get the coal bed going, with some of that oak lump. If any of you guys and girls are like me, early riser, and I turn YouTube right on my TV, and I've been watching just a crap ton of offset smoker videos. It's going to get expensive, because I think at some point in time, I am going to upgrade and get a little bit of a bigger, a little bit bigger of a offset. The thing with these is, I'm not going to say tricky because I don't use this a whole lot, but from the videos that I watched, the tricky part about these small ones is you have to keep a really small, clean fire. Right now, I don't know, you can tell me, but I think that smoke coming out of there right now is acceptable. But anyways, enough about the blabbing. Let's go ahead and get that pork butt on. All right, you can see I do have my internal PT there, monitoring the temps today with my ThermoWorks Maverick, or my ThermoWorks Smoke X4. I did put a Weber Smoky Mountain grommet in there. I don't know why, but I think that is like the one necessary mod for most grills, is stick that gasket in there. Drill it. I think it's a 1 1/4 inch hole, but you put that in there, then you don't got to run your cables and everything through the lid. Go ahead and throw the pork butt on. Put it right in the middle. We're going to be cooking with fat cap down, and yeah, I don't got much else, but I'm going to go ahead and cool this thing down. I think the first part of this cook, I'm going to be running anywhere between 250 and 275 for the first few hours, and then after that, I'm going to crank this thing up. Probably run it 275 to 325-ish to finish this thing out. I will check back in here in a couple hours. All right, we are back. We're about 2.5 hours into the cook. Things been rolling right at about 250, 275, and now I'm going to just go ahead and try to get this fire a little hotter, finish this thing out at about 300. That was my goal. I wanted to run at like 250, 275 for a couple hours, and then finish the cook off at about 275 to 300-ish. But I've been successful running just hickory splits. They've been about this size, maybe just a little smaller, but if they're this big, I put one in. If they're a little smaller, I put two in, and they usually burn for about a half hour. My vent setup, my top vent, my exhaust always all the way open, and then the door on the firebox, when I put the splits in, I leave open for about 20 minutes, or probably for about 5 minutes, and then once the temps creep up close to my target temp, I shut the door, and that usually keeps it where I want. But yeah, like I said, burning hickory splits. I forgot to mention, I didn't do it on camera, but the rubs we're using today is the Suckle-Busters Honey BBQ Party Rub, or God, no, it's just the Suckle-Busters Honey BBQ Rub, and then using the Tailgaters BBQ Party Rub. I wanted to try the combo of these rubs for quite a while, and now I'm finally getting a chance to today. But like I said, on 2.5 hours, let's go ahead and see how the butt's doing. There it is. Looking like a pork butt. Again, bark is about set, but I'm just going to try not spritzing again. And see how that works. It worked pretty good on the UDS. Might have to spritz here in a little bit because this does kind of look dryish. But let's go ahead and take an internal, see where we're at. About 105. So we've got ways to go yet. But shut the lid down. And let's take you over to the firebox. You can see I got the door open there. Relatively clean burning fire in there, I think. And when I open the door up, kind of just takes off. So that is about all I got. So I'll probably check back in a few times here or there, and I'll for sure check back in when we wrap, because we are going to wrap in foil. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we are back. We've been on for 5 hours and 15 minutes. You can see that top one right there is the cook time for this. I picked up one of these ThermoWorks time stacks. I'll put the link in the description, more or less because I'm going to be doing an SCA competition here in mid-June, and I had no idea this existed. I think I saw a video by Cosmos or something, and he had it, and it's awesome because, when you do, just to get into SCAs, but typically when you do SCAs, you put the steak on for a lot amount of time, you turn it a lot amount of time. That's 1, 2 timers, and then the same thing on the other side, so it's perfect for SCA competitions, but I'm using it for this too. So 5 hours, 15 minutes. Temps right now are at about see if I can show you. Hold on. Temps right now are at 283. They're climbing. I just put a few more splits of hickory on. You can see under the smoker there are 2 left. That's all that was, or that's all I got left out of that bag. I've been coming out, like I said, about every 30-40 minutes and throwing a couple splits on. And you can see the door right there is still, you know, cracked open. But you know, pretty much when I open up the firebox, you know, it's got, you know, a decent fire in there. And then when I close it, obviously, it still burns clean and hot enough to not throw off a bunch of smoke or whatever. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the butt. There's B. See where we're at. Well, that's about perfect. We're sitting at 165 right in the middle. That's typically where I like to wrap. My bark's where I want it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull this thing off, bring it inside, and wrap this thing up in foil. So I'll pick back up when I do that. Alrighty, we are back. I got the butt sitting here in some foil. Again, I don't really ever add any liquid to the foil, but what I'm going to go ahead and do to the foil is I'm going to add some more of the rubs. And that's going to be about it. So let's just go ahead and throw some rub on. Go ahead and toss this right back on. Fat cap down right in the middle where I had it. Shut the lid, and you know, at this point, obviously I think I always say it, but you could cook this in the oven the rest of the way, but I'm going to finish it out. I got 2 more splits left. I'm just going to use the last 2 splits, even though there's no reason to. I could just fuel the rest of this, cook with charcoal, but I'm going to use those last 2 splits here when I need to, and then any additional heat, I will be using the B&B oak lump. I use other charcoal, but I either got B&B oak lump, B&B oak briquettes. I think I got a couple bags of Jealous Devil on hand, and I'm just going to use the B&B oak lump. So now besides that, I'm going to guess this is going to be probably another couple hours wrapped in foil. And yeah, you know, it's obviously going to get pulled off when it's done. I'm going to let it burp, you know, pretty much just open up the foil, let it steam out, and put it in a cooler, let it rest for a couple hours. So we will pick back up right around dinner time. All right, we are back, and it is, well, it's time to pull into this butt. Real quick, I'm going to go over these cook times. You can see right here on the ThermalWorks time stack, 7 hours, 24 minutes for the total cook time. Then we let it rest for 3 hours and 32 minutes. And I've let butts, you know, and when I let it rest, all I did was wrapped it up in 2 towels and let it sit. I mean, you know, I burped it first, but then I let it, you know, I wrapped it up in 2 towels, let it sit. I have let these things rest just wrapped in towels on the countertop. I think I've let them rest for like 6 hours before, and they're still piping hot. But we did like 5 hours and 20 minutes. You know, right on there, right, getting some good smoke flavor. And then we did about 2 hours in foil. And yeah, let's go ahead, open this thing up, and see how we did. Bone clean. I did the bone drop last time. Let's do something a little different this time. Kobe. Alley-oop. Do the same thing here. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take the fat cap off. Should just pretty much come off in one piece. Just because it's not good eating. Pull this thing, flip it back over, and let's pull some pork and see how we did. Nice looking bark on there, decent smoke ring. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Wow, combination of that Suckle Busters honey barbecue, and then obviously the tailgaters. You know I love the tailgaters. It's absolutely fantastic on there. And then just the flavor of pretty much burning a bag full of splits. If you guys and girls have bought like the bag full of Western splits, you know what I'm talking about. But you can definitely taste a big difference here from cooking pretty much 100% with splits, a little bit of lump charcoal, compared to cooking with, you know, a lot of charcoal and a few chunks. This is just outstanding. Hot and fast. I mean, kind of sort of hot and fast. You know, it was a 10-pound butt done in about, you know, 7 hours and 20 minutes. I think if you ran a 10-pound butt at 225, you're probably talking at least like a 16-hour cook. But this just, you know, this just shreds apart. Probe tender, obviously, you know, when I pulled it off, you know, pulled it off at 204. That's kind of my go-to temp for, you know, Boston butts is 204. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, pull the rest of this stuff up, have some good sandwiches, have some good leftovers. I'll probably make some like Probably do some like pulled pork enchiladas out of this. But yeah, you know, very successful cook. Love the flavor of it. So I got nothing else. You guys and girls have a fantastic weekend. Happy Easter, everybody, and we'll see you next time.